You know, you think with how much music is actually out there and how much is being released every single day, that your chances of finding stuff that truly blows you away would be like a lot higher. But just like finding a movie or a video like this to start watching, there's so many options, it can definitely be overwhelming to even know where to start and what to spend your precious time listening to. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to easily discover new music that you'll love, no matter what genre you're into. This super simple and easy way of going about it has enabled me to listen to more new music this year than pretty much any other time in my life. And by the end of this, you'll be easily able to climb out of your listening ruts and at the same time begin training your personal algorithms to actually find and suggest way more new music with a lot less effort and a lot more joy. So let's not wait any longer and get right down to it. Let's go. What's up everybody? How's it going? I'm Brad Dollar. Welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. Imagine this. You're in the mood and ready to find and listen to some new music, but you have no idea where to start. I think it's pretty safe to say that at this point, we've all been there. You click on a pre-made editorial playlist only to find yourself skipping each track. But recently I found a really easy and obvious way to both find new music and make the time to hear it. For me, this has actually gotten harder over the years. The deeper I go down into the path of putting music making at the center of my life, the harder it gets for me to want to make time to just listen to music. Whenever I hear something I'm excited about, I just get super pumped and want to go back to making music. And when I can't find something I connect with, I just get a little frustrated and end up just listening back to the same music I've heard a million times. As a result, I've found myself falling into ruts really easily over the years. So to bring all that together, I think here's the main problem we're all facing with this. And it's that it's hard to find time to both discover new music and then actually listen to it, let alone find time to make it if that's what you love to do. And this is where I started to try to find a solution. So here's how I solved it and how you can solve it too. You have to start by dividing your time of finding music and listening to it. At this point, I rarely do both at the same time. I just don't think there's a lot of joy in blindly skipping through music until you find something you like. And with how limited all of our time and our schedules are these days, trying to force these two distinct activities into one time slot has a hard time working out. So that's step one. For me this year, I've kept it really consistent. Every Friday at 3, I go on allmusic.com. It is a catalog of everything that just came out this week and the past few weeks prior. You can browse by both editor picks, which are usually like spot on and unearth some really great stuff, or you can browse by genre. When you start doing this, it's important to just trust your gut. Read the descriptions and see if you connect with how an album is described, or maybe you see a new song or a new album from an artist you've recognized before. Those are great things to just add into a playlist. Doesn't matter what streaming service you're using, whether it's Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon or YouTube Music or whatever you want. When you find a song you're willing to spend a few minutes listening to, add it to a playlist. It's really that simple. I go on Apple Music, that's what I like to use, search for the song, and I add it. If you do this for a few weeks, and you can do it on Friday or Saturday or Sunday or Monday or whenever you want to, you'll really quickly start to build up a lot of new music for yourself. Not to mention a probably very diverse selection of music. The follow-up step I like to do to that is one thing that I wish I had been doing for years. And that's every time I'm on social media and I see a band or an artist I follow or a friend I know post something about music that just came out that either they made or they were part of, I just add that to a playlist. For the longest time, I've never really made that connection of like, oh, you posted about a song you just put out. I'm gonna go now listen to it right now. It just never really clicked for me until recently to separate those two things. So now I might not hear a new song right when it comes out, but it's definitely on a playlist that I'll hear in the very near future. And the last part of finding it that's really important is to not worry about when it actually came out. If you haven't heard it, as far as you're considered, it's new. This can be a really great way to also dive back into classics that you haven't heard before. I just heard the Charlie Christian, Dizzy Gillespie, After Hours, from that song Swing to Bop. That's an amazing song. This thing came out in the early 40s, but to me, it's new. And so it's on the playlist that I listen to. And so in doing this, you can really unlock all kinds of different layers and levels of music, and especially different eras all at the same time. What makes this really fun is when you fall in love with a new band, you'll start to find out what bands they were inspired by. And if you haven't heard them, boom, right on the playlist, which just keeps all of this flowing for you. To put this in context, even the best record stores in the world at their heyday, like take Tower Records or Rasputin, they had massive collections of music. I mean, so much like actual physical music in one place, different levels and stories is kind of hard to believe. But even with all of that music, there's never been a greater time than now to actually be able to hear all of it. If you wanted to listen to all this music from that store, you would have had to pay for all of it, or maybe someone you know had a loaner copy. So what we're doing here and being able to add all this music to a playlist is honestly one of the best things we get to experience as humans. So if for no other reason, being able to add so much music to a playlist and new music you haven't heard before so easily makes it totally worth it all by itself. Seriously, thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching. I'd love to have you back, so please hit subscribe and like so I can see you again. So now that you've made time to actually discover, find, and prepare music to listen to, when you're ready to hear it, it's ready for you. You just click play on that playlist and start going. Now, I have some personal rules. The first is that I give every song at least 30 seconds. To me, this does two things. One, even if I hate the song and I can't stand it, at least the artist got paid for it. The threshold for artists getting paid for a stream is usually around 30 or 31 seconds. And the second benefit of that is that not every song really gets up and going in the first 30 seconds. Like, I found some songs I love this year that you really have to give the first full minute to really get up to its paces. And honestly, that's kind of modest by music standards. It's asking a lot of a song to really grab you, pull you in, hook you, make you fall in love with it and the artist in 30 seconds or less. This has given me and can give you a great opportunity to discover more of the deep cuts and to get past just the singles. Now, I'm not saying you have to go full tilt on a couch for 3 days and just binge music. The more practical way of going about this is to identify the times in your day when you're able to actively listen while doing something else. For me, going to the gym has been a critical place to do this. When I'm on a treadmill, I'm just there. So just having music going is a great way to interact with it. Also, while you're at the gym, a lot of times your hands are occupied and skipping is kind of not an option. So you just have to bear with whatever you're hearing at the time, which in and of itself can lead you to find new songs and new moments of music that you otherwise wouldn't have heard, or you would have just skipped past. But you can also do this in a bunch of other places. I've knocked out huge swaths of time listening to music while mowing the lawn. Being in the car driving is a great one, or just going for a walk. It's kind of a pipe dream that you're going to create like a brand new habit in the middle of the day where you can just stop and listen to music. So to be able to stay consistent with this and make hearing new music a bigger part of your day-to-day life, the easiest way to do this is to just make it part of your day-to-day life. And if you're thinking you don't have time, what you actually don't have time for is to be uninspired. This goes especially true if you're a producer or engineer or writer that works with others. You definitely don't want to be underprepared or underinformed. So you owe it to yourself to make whatever effort you can to hear new music. As music creators, we have to keep studying and we have to keep filling up the tank with new information. So in just the same way music inspired you in the first place, keep that tank full so you can stay inspired. And if you're just a music listener, if you don't make music, well, you are the lifeblood of everything that we're doing. And so you finding your own rabbit holes and going as deep as possible into them really helps every creator out there. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for listening. And if you're wondering what the best speakers to listen to new music on, definitely check out my video on the Barefoot Footprints. These speakers have changed my life, and when I am able to listen to new music on them, it's an exhilarating experience. They uncover a ton of detail, and their different modes really help me to understand what others may be feeling from the same music, which is something that's really important to me as a producer and engineer. So check out that video to learn more about that. I hope these tips on finding new music were helpful, and that you've got a great jumping off point to discover your next favorite song or artist. And I would love it if you let me know about some of the new artists or songs you've heard that you're super excited about in the comments below. I'll definitely check them out and add them to my playlist. This is especially true for any of you independent artists out there who just released new music. Feel free to post it and share it. I'd love to help you help others find it. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I love having you here. Please be sure to subscribe and like. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.